Greetings, humans. Let's check. Use tube. Use tube. Okay, use tube is good. Delive. Let's check Delive. 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 It's good. The Book of the Face. Also good. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now let's check G-Ross on. Okay, we're literally live everywhere. Everywhere you can be, we are. Right. Genesis 3:15. Genesis, don't insult my Genesis. What's that? Don't insult my intelligence, Captain. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. Two minutes, 15 seconds. A minute left. Half a minute left. Man, that's quite the delay. Hello, Anderson. Oh, the countdown is over. Let's play an intro.
Welcome to the 9dNation.
בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Thousands of years later, it was Wednesday at 11 p.m. Central. Get your passport ready and be prepared to declare to the customs agents any edible plants or miscellaneous worldviews. You're now crossing into the nation with no denomination.
Welcome. You're in the nation. I am G. Ross, and we're simulcast on YouTube, Facebook, DLive, and the Foxhole. What is G. Ross? It's a channel. What are the three shows? Friday, Bread Pill Weekly, a news roundup with a co-host Angular. What is Sunday? Funklosophy, a trip through impressions of the week. And what is 9dNation? We're on episode 11 of our Bible reading. So we're going to start, this is episode 11. We're going to start chapter 3, verse 15. But we're going to wait a minute. We're going to kind of watch the boards. Oh, we got a cookie. Time for the cookie animation. Let's transition. Here comes Cookie.
Here comes Cookie.
That was for Just Jim. Thank you for the cookie. He says, good to see you. Smile. Sunglasses smile. I can't read it. Is that a... Let me fix my view here. I can't read it. Like a thumbs like that and a flag. Dr. Hoffman's in. Frank Staint is in. It's good to see you all. We're taking that 757. We're just taxiing it out on the runway. Oh, the commander's here. That would be Sloan TV. It's just good TV. I can't do it. Let me try again. Sloan TV. It's just good TV. I can't do it. I don't have it. Hang on. Oh. We just got... I'm going to have to do some math. That's going to get us a cookie and a can. And let's...
Here comes Cookie.
There we go. That's kind of cookie math or gold pill math. Thank you, Just Jim. I can't do the... Now, I will claim accurately that Sloan TV is just good TV. But I can't quite get that voice. That, I mean, I don't think I was there when you first coined that, but I can imagine it with something like this. It's like, it's freshly ground grounds. It's like, it's one of those, well, you know what I'm saying. All right, I think we can get this 757 up to speed, and we can start getting it up in the air. Let me turn the loudness down to less loudness. That should work. Okay. All right, our story so far. If you were not here last week, that's okay. Our story so far took us 10 weeks to build this up. Achaya. This is Genesis 1:1 through 3:14. Achaya, which is how I like to pronounce YHWH. Nobody knows how it's pronounced, really. They don't. I don't know anybody who knows it to the extent that I can say I am 100% sure that they're right. People say Adonai just as kind of like a placeholder. They say Jehovah. They say Yahweh. It's the covenant name of the Lord, right? G. Ross TV. It's S. Eating Grin. Blushy Smile. Well, Just Jim, the closest I've gotten on that is you are the underscore. That's kind of the channel slogan. The show is You're in the Nation with No Denomination. And my very skinny dog, who eats as much as she wants, is trying to get at some cake crumbs. She's kind of irritating me. Oh, cookie. First cut was good. Don't be a perfectionist. Radio voice is great. For the Sloan TV PSA. Here comes Cookie. Oh, man, I thought... Why didn't Cookie? What's wrong here? Hang on. Something broke Cookie.
Here comes Cookie.
There we go. Oh, I know why. I know why that happened. All right. Learning lessons. Dr. Hoffman, how do you have 4 thumbs? Because you just put 4 thumbs up. All right, I'm getting really literal. I'm in a mood. I had to get up super early today to go get that thing they do with the little poker thing. They go. Anyway, the teeth cleaning. So Achaya made everything, including animals ruled by the humans. Not just the animals. It's an unclear antecedent. The humans who ate the illegal fruit, Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away. And then we were paused, right about to read the Proto-Evangelia, the first instance of the good news to come, or the gospel. And that would be Genesis 3:15, and that's where we're starting tonight. Genesis 3:15. Let me get that up on the screen. It's already there. And I will make enemies of you and the woman, and of your offspring and her descendant. He shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel. I thought we were in the jingle nest. Are we? I don't even know what that could be. The jingle nest. I have to Google that. What is the jingle nest? I have to DuckDuckGo that. Jingle nest. Proto-Evangelia 3:15. Yes, Just Jim. Wow. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Get some Ariana Grande that way. Jingle nest. It's a thing. Did you know it? Well, it's trying to be a thing. Face to face, just jingle. No, it's not a thing. All right, so let's get into the Proto-Evangelia. I'm going to bring up the Hebrew. How's Studio G doing? Hopefully it's cooled down a bit. My old studio in New Jersey was called Studio Goldfoot. I thought of it when you mentioned Studio G. Skelter put out 2 albums from that studio. Boomstick, The Nest, from Old School. The movie with... Wait, Old School? Was it the movie with Rodney Dangerfield? I had to get up so early today. So you mentioned Studio G earlier. Sloan did. The Commander. So now... make sure she doesn't, break her legs. Skinny dogs, man. You always worry about their legs. Sure. Yeah, thank you. All right, so it's time you knew about Skelter. Skelter has an album called Boomstick. Let me put the link in the chat. I'm sure you can find ways to see it for free. I'm not trying to... Well, I wouldn't mind if my old band got some... Hadn't made it to Studio G. Let me put this in the other chat. So Skelter's first album that came out of Studio Goldfoot, which is what Studio G reminded me of, was this one, Boomstick. Then came, after that, the second album, which I think we learned a lot and bought some new equipment. Skelter. Sip a tea with the devil. For the devil. My own album, and I don't even remember how to spell it. Sorry. So here's the second album to come out of Studio Goldfoot. This wasn't the point of tonight, but just kind of rolled out. All right. Enough of that. We may play those. We may play those one day. Not on a Wednesday, because we're broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook. And I would probably get in trouble for having my own content. They give me a copy strike, right strike. I'm the bass player on this. On these devices. Okay. Not the point of the show. And obviously there's a little playing fast and loose with some evil characters, obviously, in the second album that I might not as fully condone now as I might have back then. I'll let it stand as it is. All right, so he said, Va'iva ashit bainecha, uvein haisha, uvein saracha, uvein zara hu yeshufecha rosh vaeta, teshufenu akev. I think that's how it would have sounded in the original ancient Hebrew. I'm certain I'm wrong. Sorry, I blew out the speaker there, the mic. Certain I'm wrong, but that's my best guess. Your algorithm, Clip says, just makes fun of hypocrisy for me now. Will Ferrell at the marriage counselor. Bad joke. Oh, Old School. Now I remember the movie. Old School. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so he says... Right. So he said, Hola, Mr. G, ¿cómo estás? Frank said, on its way. Jingle Nest. Are we? Okay. Now just Jim, now that I've... As if that is the problem. Oh, Cookie. Oh, that's why we got 315 gold pills earlier. I am so dense. 315. I get it now. Let's do some more cookie math, because the cookie just came in.
Here comes Cookie.
Here comes Cookie. Just Jim, have you been here on one of our Wednesday nights? I had a great time with Just Jim on Drunk Pinata's ad hoc Friday night substitution show. And it got crazy. And then that led to more crazy shows like the next night. And did anybody hear... I'm so off topic right now. Did anybody hear... It was like 4 nights ago-ish. Drunk Pinata on Due Diligence. And it was late. And you could tell it was late into the show. And Drunk Pinata had been out in the sun all day. And he was trying to stay awake. It was kind of funny. And I was sitting there thinking that Floyd Standifer was kind of accommodating Drunk Pinata's sleepiness, because once he left and Shibbles came on, they were lively. So it was all Drunk Pinata being super tired. Anyway, all right, we got some wood to chop here. Let me zoom in a little. This is the gospel. Genesis 3:15. Proto-evangelia. So, Vayiva comes from Eba, which is enmity. 5 Old Testament usages. It's a very personal hostility. And as I looked at it, I just started to see hate, which is a very hard to define word. Enmity, hate. I mean, it's like a blood feud, mortal enemies. Like, even if people are watching, you probably just turn and choke that entity to death, right? Like, you hate them. Which is interesting, because did they hate each other before that? I mean, Eve was listening to the serpent, and Adam was ignoring that Eve was talking to the serpent and not intervening. And the serpent, you got to figure he was being mean, trying to mess them up. So maybe it was like just one way. You know, he hated her. Now that she fell for his trap, she hates him. But anyway. So then ashit comes from sheath, or to put. There's 83 Old Testament usages. It can be to appoint, to set, to place, or to demand. So God can declare, in a kind of legal sense, a strong feud between, I guess, the species. I don't know if it's all serpents or this one serpent. We'll probably figure that out as we go, but the serpent seems to be able to, yeah. All right. Benecha, uvein hayisha, uvein zarahu. Those are words we've already seen before, so we don't have to define them deeply here. You can watch re-recordings or just go with it. It's between you and the woman, and between her seed and he. And I just want to remind you that when you get this between word, uvein, I guess it is. Let me double check. That's the right. No. Benecha. Uvein. Yeah. So uvein. So between. See this 996 word here. It's not like, to me, when we see between, it's kind of like a divider. This one is like each chunk is separated and isolated out. So it's like you'll say between the rock and between the hard place. Just Jim says, Yoda is being way more like your chill vibe now. And by the way, Just Jim, I was really talking about the whole night. You're right. He definitely made some waves that night and the next day and all that stuff. But I think things are cool, right? I think things cooled down. A lot of credit to everyone. He was having some diabetes issues and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it was a fun time. It was a fun time hanging out with everybody. Let's get the can going. Here we go. A can came in. I'm going to have to change that animation because, here, let's do that real quick. Do you guys mind? Let's see. I'll do it later. I want there to be room for me to raise the roof. I'm like always trying to find where can my arm be seen. So I'm going to have to move that can around. Sloan TV. It's just good TV. If you get a chance. Everybody here knows everything I'm about to say, but just in case someone's seeing the recording, or let's see if anybody's watching on YouTube. No one's on DLive or YouTube, or let's check and see if Facebook sometimes gets some action. 0. But you know what? Space repeated exposures. 2 and 10 Eastern Time is when you catch the commander. Commander Sloan himself. Nope. We got a cookie. Chill logical demeanor is helpful to us all. I appreciate hearing that. You know what? Deep inside is a troubled.
Here comes the...
All right. Let me just take you to a side story. I have 3 very much younger brothers, a slightly younger sister. And when I was like off living in an apartment by myself and whatever, and still hanging out with the family, apparently during that time, my mom would tell my 3 younger brothers that I routinely smoked pot. Totally false. But I guess I just had that vibes that she just figured I was a complete pothead. Of course, later as a New York musician, I, of course, attempted and tried to figure out some of that stuff. So I'm not totally naive to it these days. But at the time, never touched this stuff. But I was declared by my own mom to my younger siblings, oh, your brother smokes pot all the time. Never did. Not at that time. Anyway, just thought I'd tell you that story. Just Jim has that excitement too. You're so chill. It helped me too. Just Jim, your pig painting, if you're willing to send me, do you have a picture of it? Because I will show it right now. That thing still haunts my dreams. I'm going to sleep and I'm like, the pig. The pig. You should see it. I'll show it to my child when if you don't happen to have, I'll go back and watch the show, and if you're permission, I'll get a screen grab of it. So instead of making you have to do all that, I just love that thing. Sorry, I'm popping the mic. It's turning red in the thing. All right, so we're doing your seed and her seed. You. Oh, so just for some reason, I wanted to highlight that between. Yes, Jim was there the next night too. So for some reason, the way these ancient Hebrew constructions of the sentence, it doesn't say between this and that. It always goes between this and between that. It's like each little egg gets its own little egg crate. I don't know why that matters to me so much, but I just notice it as I'm kind of learning. Okay, I'll move on. Moving on. And he shall bruise. How do we pronounce that again? Yeshufecha. Yeshufecha. Let's see what we got here. Yeshufecha. It's from shuf, which is to bruise. There are 4 Old Testament usages, and 2 of them are from this section. It can mean overwhelm, or to be attacked like by a storm or a tempest. And some translators put this as strike. So, what did I play? What did I play? It's here. You have a picture. DM me. Now I'm confused. The delay sometimes confuses me. I just want to show that pig picture to people. I'm just like, it was one of the freakiest things that night. Hope you don't mind if I call that pig painting kind of freaky. I love it so much. It sticks in my mind. All right. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is the scholars all say strike or bruise, but I'm going to hold off and keep reading and say something bad. He'll do something bad. Rosh, we know that word. It's head. Rosh, it's head. Vuata, we know that word from prior weeks. And then he says bruise again here. And then akev, which is the heel. Can be the whole foot or the back of the foot. There's 13 Old Testament usages. It does sometimes mean the back part, like your hindquarters. But I would say it's usually used here as foot. It's probably correct. Now let's put this verse together. Hate, God declares, between the snake and the woman, and between the snake's seed and the woman's seed. I think maybe wrong about that. I wrote that in my notes. Does he say between the snake's seed? In between your seed and her seed. Oh, he does, yeah. So the offspring. So it's all serpents, or at least all serpents coming from this serpent. How can the fallen, legless devil serpent, if that's what that is, have offspring? Is it a spiritual offspring? Deep questions. And the woman's seed, which will strike the snake, and the snake will strike his heel, meaning the woman's seed's heel. Now, let's take our story so far and put it all together. Take this sentence and the ones before. Ahiah made everything, including animals, all ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared eternal hate between snakes and people, and said the snake will attack the seed of the woman's foot, and the seed of the woman's foot will strike the snake's head. I don't mean the seed of the woman's foot, I mean the seed of the woman's foot. It's the six-nippled pig. Comes with a story. It's inspired, not finished, as my struggle ended. Just Jim, when it's time, I'd like that final painting. If you do repros, if you do that, it's your art, man. Like whatever but it fascinates me. Can't wait to see it when it's done. So, if you do repros, I'm in. Like if you scan it and have it printed. I'm not trying to get all in that. I really love that painting though. Now, is it really snakes? Most people don't like snakes that much, and snakes seem totally willing to just kill people senselessly. I picked up from one article a blood feud. We've got a blood feud now between the serpent's offspring and Eve's offspring. So this points to a future event of the Messiah removing the tempter's power with even a temporary wounding to the Messiah, meaning the 3 days dead. Central 1234 in the house. Good to see you. The grammar here does say he, so singular, seed of the woman. So I don't think it's saying that typically lots of humans will constantly be keeping you at bay. Don't think it's saying that. The way the grammar is, I do tend to agree with the Proto-Evangelia approach. It's a singular savior. So let me summarize it again. Ahiah made everything, including animals. All of it was ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said that one of her future offspring would stomp the serpent's head and the serpent would bite his foot. Then I tried again. Ahiah made everything, including animals, ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said one of her progeny would stomp his head and he'd bite his foot. All right, let's move on to the next sentence. Whiskey Blue in the house. Nice. Good to see the Whiskey Blue and the Central 1234. All right, let's go to the next sentence. Took a half hour to get through the first sentence. This is not our normal pace, but that's okay. We're family. We're just doing a Wednesday night living room Bible reading. I wouldn't call this a Bible study unless you really want to call it that. How's it going, y'all? Whiskey Blue says. Doing great. I don't think I'd call it a translation. I've just been calling it a reading. We'll see what we decide to call it. To the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you shall deliver children, yet your desire will be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. We have so much to talk about in this one sentence. I'm not sure I even agree with all of that translation. Let's put on our big britches and disagree with historical scholars over the centuries. All right. try to read this. El Haisha Amar Harba Arba Itz Sevonech Beheronech Ve'etzev Teledi Vanim Ve'el Ishech Teshukatech Vehu Yimshol Bach. And then there's like a S or something. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, so we know the first few words. El Haisha Mar Harba Arba. To the woman he said, more, or increase, or up the pain. That's from Itzabon. Itzevonech is how it's grammared here. It's a pain, a toil. There are only 3 usage in the Old Testament. And they're all in Genesis 1 from the next sentence. Or from this in the next sentence. It's a somewhat slightly agricultural word. You can note the tie between agricultural work and human birthing. Like, both are a form of harvest. And let me tell you something. Doesn't that kind of tickle the weird places we've been going for the last 5 years, knowing what we know? Like, in Revelation, God's going to walk around harvesting. And I don't want to get too weird, but I think it's an interesting thing to say, I'd like to be a good thing for God to use, right? As he pleases. So I'm just thinking of Enki and Enlil and all the stuff we know. A human being born and the concept of a harvest are just slightly tied together with this word, itzabon. Atzab is unpleasing. It's a word for icky labor or icky ickness. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that, but that's my notes, and that's what I was sort of noting. Wait, where's Nova? Nova! Thanks for saying something, Whiskey. Nova's here. All right. So he will harba, greatly increase, sorrow. All right. Let me move to the next word. If I can figure out where my screens are. Man. Vicheronek, that comes from Heron or Herion. That's conception or pregnancy. There's 3 Old Testament usages. One's in Ruth and one's in Hosea. And they're all a child multiplication related from hara, which is to get pregnant. So basically they're saying just the concept that you got pregnant will be like, ugh. Oh, we've got a cookie. Let's get the cookies going. The animation for it, I mean. Here comes Cookie. I messed up. Hang on. Let's try this one more time.
Here comes Cookie.
All right. Nova X. Oh. The DM. Just Jim, let me DM you real quick. That way it'll pop up in your viewfinders. Start a new message thread to Just Jim. I see you. All right, hopefully that'll pop up pretty soon in your... All right, it's away. The message is away. There's no pop quiz at the end. Did someone threaten a pop quiz? All right. In pain. Be'esev. Let's dig into that word. See what I found out. Ve'etzev. Oh, we talked about that. That's the one I was just on. No, that's not the one I was just on. There's 7 Old Testament usages here. It can mean pain, hard work, sorrow. It can strangely mean a carved idol. So I wondered if that was like all the effort, you have to sit there and like... It's similar to atzab, which was the word we just saw a minute ago. I'm not convinced, based on these word tokens, that we know exactly the nature, but we do see what pregnancy and delivery is like. The effort of carrying the child and the pain of childbirth. And I got to say this delicately because my own 12-year-old is sitting right here, but having and raising kids, all in all, even like, okay, when he jumps off of like a swimming pool rock and you're watching to make sure they don't get hurt, like even that, like every little thing they do when they're having fun, you're like, So anyway, but we can kind of take the book of nature and the book of special revelation, which is the Bible, and we can put them together. So we can kind of tell some of the ways that ve'etzev, or etzeb, the hurt, the pain, the toil, the sorrow, is now part of the deal. Was it part of the deal before? All right, then we get teledi. Let me zoom in a bit. Teledi, you shall bring forth. That's from yalad, which is to bear, or bring forth, or beget. There's 497 Old Testament usages, and it's all kinds of different ways of saying breed forth, almost always children. And it's usually the action of bringing forth the children, so the moment of labor or delivery. Vanim comes from bin, which is the word for son, right here, children. Vanim, that comes from bin. There's 4,932 Old Testament usages. It's always kiddos. Either your kids, other cultures' kids, very much children or sons. Ve'el, we know that means 4. We've seen that a bunch of times in the last 2 months. Ishech, we've already seen that. That means man, and it can mean husband, but it usually just means man. It's okay to translate it husband, obviously. I mean, the scholars are smarter than me. Teshukatech, that's from teshuka. That's a longing, like a yearning. There's 3 Old Testament usages. 2 of them are from Genesis. One of them in Genesis is sin wanting to attack, like a lion crouching around the door. Or it's not a lion, just like an animal. And the other place is in Song of Solomon, where the young couple is getting together. So that one's pretty easy to understand. So maybe a hungry rabid animal, or, young adults checking each other out. So I think it's okay to call it yearning, desire, longing. Shuk is another similar word, which is like to overflow. And then let me put this in the chat. You can dig into this concordance and sense. In the days of Noah, there were pop quizzes. The world was wiped out, and all was about repopulation. Nice. Well, we're going to have a pop quiz. No, we're not. Maybe. So in that link, you can see... Here, let me click on it. I forgot why I put this in here. I did this like over a week ago. All right, so... Vehu is he. Yimshol. We know these words. Yimshol, we've already seen. It's like the same way the sun and the moon rule the day and the night. It's got a sense of dominion over. Then there's just some grammar words. So let's put it all together. To the woman, he said, increase, blech, in reproduction, and toil in delivery of children, and for your dude you will reach out for in some way, and he will have rulership over you. Now let's put this all together and contemplate this a little bit. I have a few comments. Gaia made everything, including animals. It was ruled by humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said one of her progeny would stomp his head and get a foot bite. Childbirth will hurt, and you'll seek out after your man who will rule over you. Now, is this a new form of ruling over or having dominion over or having some kind of an authority or a say? Did that change? Is it a consequence? Or is it in relation to this new desire for it? Like, does it have to be mentioned? Like, you will desire your man and he'll have rulership over you. I think it's grammatically a new thing. Not sure. Let's try again. Black cherry Shasta. Oh, now I'm thirsty. Gaia made everything, including animals. It was ruled by humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said one of her progeny would stomp his head and get foot-bitten. Childbirth is now rough, and the man will rule over her while she desires him. There are some prominent translations saying that grammatically she's going to be bumping heads with her husband. That's actually mistranslated. You will now bump heads. So I've decided to kind of update the summary. Let me try it this way. Black Yoda. We're doing Bible reading, brother man. I have not done an audio call in a while. I got rid of Gilded. Are you in there? I'm not even logged into it. We're doing Genesis 3:15 and Genesis 3:16, and we're about to hit Genesis 3:17. Let me read this slight tweak real quick. Gaia made everything, including animals, ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said one of her progeny would stomp his head and get foot-bitten. Childbirth is now rough, and Eve, or the woman, will be subject to her husband's authority. So I kind of put it that way to capture a little bit of the tension, but to try to make it more just zoomed back, because I wasn't really sure which way the translators would have it. Let's God body. Black Yoda, are you interested in chopping these words up? Let's give it a try. I'm going to keep you on topic. We're going to stay real narrow. Is that good? Let me get some zoom going here. Zoom. New meeting. I can't do video, but that's okay. The snake lost his legs. All right, now, how do I invite people to this meeting? I don't even know what I'm doing. Hang on, Black Yoda. I gotta figure this out. I've got a meeting. Just just don't know how to get the link to it. Participant invite. Got it. Copy invite link. Just Jim, you should join us. All right. We've been at this for 45 minutes. We got 2 sentences done. We'll try another. Oh, you may need a passcode. Let's try that. I think it's asking for a passcode. Nova X. We may or may not debate. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, we got Black Yoda. So how do I admit? There we go. I'm going to mute the music. We got Black Yoda. Are you muted? Am I muted? Ah, there we go.
I can hear you, bro.
Brother.
You were trying to do it with the soft voice. I tried to slide in with a soft one. You know, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now, you're a little low, and I can't connect you to my Bluetooth. Is there any way that you can raise your volume? Because I can't raise mine anymore.
You're asking me for a lot of tech. Let me, I have an idea. Hang on. Audio settings. It's cranked up.
Now, you teased me the first time you interviewed me.
Yes.
About not wanting to Bible thump. I thought it was very curious that is exactly what you're doing right now. I didn't realize you did shows like this.
Started about 10 weeks ago.
That would have been after our interview. That would have been long after.
Mm-hmm. That's right. A few weeks after. Because I was busy going through all the Facebook posts, and I finished those up. And so I needed a new topic. And I kind of always wanted to do a Wednesday Bible reading. So,
you know what? I'm really glad you said it like that. Topic, right? You have so many people that get bored. Bored. Listen to what I'm saying. People get bored, right? There are so many stories in the Bible that they don't know about that can unfuck your boredom. I'm talking about cannibalism, incest, fucking just wicked, fucking just read the Bible. Now,
yes.
One of my old neighbors, Angela, I had just turned 30 when I moved into the house in East Mesa. She is 2 months older than I am. She had bought the house next door to her, or to where we live, right? Short version, it took me 8 months to conquer that. It took me 8 long ass months. But the point is this, people. She went to when she was in high school, she went to a like a church type high school. And then when she went to college, the first one she went to was the same thing. It was like a church type college, right? She didn't know the stories in the Bible that she did. I got a helicopter. Hold on. The stories in the Bible that she didn't know about. She didn't know about Lot. And I was telling her the story about Lot. She knew half of the story, but she didn't know the other half, right? I have the water hose to my evap cooler turned on. I got to go shut it off. 5 seconds. Right.
We might do verse. Well, while he's doing that, we'll look at verse. I'm showing Just Jim's pig. This thing has been in my thoughts for like 2 weeks now. 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Let me just say this, right?
Yes.
People get bored, and I don't mean to butt in. I really don't. But people get bored when it comes to like just life in general.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how amazing that book is. I'm talking to them, not you, right? So this was when I was still chasing her, right? It took me 8 months to conquer this.
Right.
You're talking about the Krispy Kreme of crispy of all cream, right? Single white chick. Krispy Kreme of all creams. Woo! But I broke it down brick by brick.
Nice.
So that's the devil in me, right?
Right.
So she's asking me about the Bible, right? And she's fucking with me, thinking that she knows it better because she went to high school and she went to like grad school, but it was like I can't remember what to call that, but it wasn't a regular college. It was like a church type college, right? I'm not talking Brigham Young, but it was different, right? So one night we're talking about the Bible, and she made a comment, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. And I was like, hold on. I basically told her what I just told you. If you're bored, just read the Bible. It has some of the best stories. And I just happened to bring up Lot. Just happenstance, right?
Right.
And because I'm chasing the hell out of that skirt. I started commenting on Lot's daughters wanting to have kids. And so they got their father drunk and got pregnant, right?
Right.
And she swore up and down, that is not in the Bible.
Right.
You're making that up. And I was like, just look it up. Now, I was at work at the time, right? I'm on break smoking a cigarette. And I was like, just look it up. You have Google. Just Google Lot Bible daughters. Like, just fucking look it up. I'm still out there in the parking lot, right?
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, I've never heard about this. They never taught me about this. Right. And I was like, this is what I've been trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that they don't teach that's in the Bible. This is why it's up to you to read this motherfucker. Now, do y'all better understand Black Yoda?
I do.
Dude, the unwritten shit that you will read about if you just read this motherfucker. You can't even look at church people in the eye the same way.
Well, true. I mean, right. Like,
they sugarcoat it. And you know what I'm talking about.
Well, we don't at my church, but yeah, I can see how many would want to skip. I will say this. We had a couple discussions about some of the readings that we would get to in Genesis, and we were reading them in front of all ages. And, it got a little touchy. Some of the stuff you're talking about.
You know what? Let me give you another good one. And keep in mind, I'm half white. I'm half black. Very handsome man. Which means when I was a kid, I was super cute. Big ass afro and shit back in the 80s, but super cute, right?
Right.
I will never forget the Baptist church that I used to go to. My grandparents made sure that I rode the bus, went to church every fucking Sunday. I did my Awana shit on Wednesdays. One day, the lady was talking about a family that was cursed by God and had a black child. And through her interpretation, that's where black people came from.
Right.
And the entire time that she's saying, and now keep in mind, the lady that does the basement for the kids, her husband is the pastor that leads the rest of the church upstairs, right? And so we all do it together at one point, but then we separate at another point, and then we fucking come together, and then we leave. It's like 3 parts to this fucking church process, right?
Okay.
And so the whole time she's telling this story, she's just staring at me. Now that I'm older, I understand what that stare was about. She felt guilty
For having to tell that. Yeah. Well, and I don't know that she was right.
Now, let me just say this. I know it's your channel, bro, but let me just say this. I was about 7 or 8, right? I had, up until that day, I had never thought about color.
Right.
And now I'm looking at my forearms and my hands, and I'm looking across the room, and I'm looking back at her, and she's just eyeballing me, just staring at me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, hold on, I'm black. So does that mean I'm cursed? And I'm looking around the room, and there's nobody else that's black. There's nothing but white people, right? Or white kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, hold on, this can't be right. And in my 7-year-old head, this can't be right, because I know a lot of black people. My family is black.
Right.
I know my grandparents, right? This can't be right. And so my first question was, well, if God cursed this one family, how many other people did he curse? Because I know a lot of fucking black people.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment forward, it broke the matrix for me. Like I lost my faith in church.
Right.
And that I will leave at that. But I am not making, you can't make this kind of shit up, Ross.
No, I know. I mean, all right. Let me go into.
Do I believe in God? Yeah, I do.
Right.
Do I believe in that shit? No, I don't.
No. So the like I would turn the tables in some way. Like I have a really close friend.
I was 7. I didn't have the debatable skills.
No. I'm saying right. No. That was horrible. That at least she knew something was wrong. You know, it's, if I heard your story right, she had a look in her face.
Right. You heard it right, because I can picture what her expression on her face.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head.
She
years.
was by trying to teach what she'd been taught. She saw herself in a tough position. Hopefully it woke her up a little bit.
Actually, you know what? Now that we're talking about it,
mm-hmm.
in the way you say it, that was what she was taught, right?
Yeah.
And I think she wasn't looking at me out of guilt. I actually think she was looking at me out of realizing it was wrong.
That's even better.
But she knew me. She
knew it.
Up before this day, I was always my grandparents never even went to that church. I was always there on Sundays and Wednesdays for Awana.
You know what? It's almost like, not to genericize her story. I've sometimes, like, people will say something and then they'll turn and realize that they're friends with, and that they just said something that the person that they have a relationship with breaks that paradigm. That's what you were for her, is what I'm hearing.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that until tonight. So for that reason, I'm glad I called in, right?
I'm super glad. Yeah. So I have a really close friend that I made friends at work about probably met him about 7 or 8 years ago. And he has explained to me that it's quite possible, if not probable, that I may be sort of like waiting tables in heaven, and he'll be more sitting at the tables.
Wait.
I know. I'm trying to give a quick summary. And it has to do with the original 12 tribes. It has to do with who the Gentiles are and who's the actual 12 actual tribes. I got you again.
It does not work like that, people.
I know.
Oh my
But
God.
my answer to that.
Wait, give me a second.
Well, maybe I paraphrased it wrong. But in other words, there's the Jews and there's the Gentiles, and there could be a slight difference between them. But listen, if I'm there, and I who knows what I honestly think these days it's very hard to know what your genetic past is. I don't know what percent is ancient Israeli I am, or Israelite, and I don't know what percent Gentile I am. But I tend to think I'm probably a Gentile.
Let me say this to people, right?
Yep.
One or two things are going to happen
Right.
when you die. Actually, three, but I'm not going to talk about the third one. I'm still trying to understand the third one. But just better way. Let's start here. Tell me about your last dream. I don't give a fuck what it was about. Just tell me about your last dream.
I have to remember it. It was probably Just Jim's painting of the pig.
What happened in the dream?
Well, I'm sort of topically tying in. Did you remember that painting? You saw the painting of the pig, right? Remember when we were at about 3 weeks ago? Drunk Pinata, you, me, Just Jim. I don't know if you could see it on your phone. But that pig, that has been haunting me. But I don't think I actually dreamed about that painting.
So
my last dream, I can't remember.
In my head, that's hell, right? The absence of God for eternity.
Right.
That is hell.
Absolutely.
Lake of fire, all that kind of shit. No, I don't believe in that. That had more to do with Nero and Rome back in the day in Bible times, right? They literally were throwing them into like fucking roast pits. But people don't read the Bible. They don't know how real that story is.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to go pretty literal whenever there's a chance. So I wouldn't be surprised to find out if there is an eternal lake of fire, but it's sufficient to say you're separated from God. I totally agree with that.
Our God isn't that cruel.
We got into this a little bit. Oh, Sloan TV.
Can
Yep, go ahead.
Our God be cruel? Most definitely.
He's just.
But you got to do some beyond Hitler shit to like get Lake of Fire. If anything, a lot of our worst case scenarios is reincarnation. But to move past this realm, you get to be with God. And become part of the God body. Like it's like a pure thought with an orgasmic fucking experience. If that, and I know how that sounds, but I'm talking about pure joy.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. Let me quickly play the super short cookie animation because we got a cookie from Sloan
Here
TV.
comes Cookie.
All right. That's how short we've gotten it to now.
Well, no, read the cookie. I want to know what is
That was from Sloan. He gifted the cookie. No comments. But he did later say Farrah, which, of course, is Farrah Fawcett.
Now, I will say this, people. Black Yoda is not perfect, by not any means. No means am I perfect. And I'm starting to realize, Ross, I didn't respect the stage that I set for myself. But I didn't even realize there was a stage in the first place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Now I got to reassess everything and respect it all.
Well, let me ask you this.
What's up?
Or what you made me think of, let me say it and see if I'm close.
Go.
I think
reach for the stars. Reach for all of those glorious bastards.
I feel like a lot of change was coming. We all knew it was coming.
Yes.
It's still happening,
We're
but
talking
between
about goosebump level changes that nobody's ever witnessed before, and we get to witness it.
Right.
Oh my God! And when we die, we get to testify. God damn it! Like you have no idea. Go. I'm sorry, I've cut you off. I'm sorry. Go.
I feel like we all thought we knew how we were going to handle February 22, 2022. And I think it's good that we prepared for it. And I'm not saying that date was super magical, but for me, that's when the concrete set. And thanks to one YouTuber I was watching, I felt like soon we were going to get the concrete set. And all the comms and all the everything and all the foxhole, all of it kind of said, that we were heading into a new poster in the 3 movie posters series, talking Q for a second. And for about the last 6 months, it's been this kind of new thing. And I don't think it's going to be a very long period, and it's going to switch to something else coming soon. When you said you didn't realize the stage you had set for yourself, it reminded me that we all kind of got ready, and then boom, there was this, I don't know. The silence started in some ways when Trump disappeared off the stage in 2020.
Dude, the closer we get to November, lace your boots up.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for the worst. Because these Democrats, week after week, they're hitting us with another narrative because they're desperate to gain traction with one. They know they're losing. They know they're going to lose office. Liz Cheney. Let's talk about this Republican bitch, right? She's so left. She literally begged for Democrats to switch their ballot choice to Republican to vote her back into office.
That's right. So let me bring some chat in real quick. Sloan TV says, "Mess with children, you will find fire."
No, the one I like is the millstone around the neck.
Yep.
And drown that motherfucker.
Right. That's right. You mess with the children, you're going to be in the deep, deep, deep dark sea. Nova X brings...
It only got to be like fucking a couple of feet deep. And fucking...
Yeah, I know. So Nova X brings up a really good point that I wanted to hit earlier. Let me read it and see if I follow it right. Nova X says, Hitler shit to get the lake of fire. I heard for not making a choice, I get eternal tanning. That is a slight difference between your theology and mine, I think. And I think Nova X just hit it.
Say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Nova X is talking about how, remember when you said you got to do really, really high level Hitler level stuff to get the lake of fire?
Yeah.
When you first mentioned something like that a few months ago when we were talking on...
Well, the thing is, God loves us. He doesn't want to see us fall. He wants us all to participate and co-create. Even Lucifer. God is waiting to the very end to have to smite him to oblivion of nothing. He doesn't want that for any of us. What part of the Bible don't people understand about this? There's a lot of people walking around thinking that when they die, it's nothing. No, that's the devil. That's not you. Like, what the fuck kind of non-hope bullshit is that? Like, we wouldn't even be here if that was the case. What's the point, right? Fuck.
Okay.
It blows my mind on. Let me back up.
All right.
I get frustrated by how stupid people are.
Who's stupid? No one here is stupid. So let me hit you with. I'm just gonna have to hit you cold and hard with the gospel. Permit me?
Go. I'll hit back. You know I will.
Well, but I don't know that we disagree. But we
no, we don't. We
have a couple of finer points that we
just say it differently. That's all.
I think that's close to reality. So let me walk into this. So the way you meet God is through Jesus. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, we agree. We agree. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, it tells you in Matthew.
Yeah, there you go. All right. That's all. That's all I had to say.
Was that your only question?
Well, I needed a second to formulate it up.
A good one. Oh, you fucked that all up, dude. Now you owe us a story, Ross.
Fair. Well, here let me ask you a question. Do you want to? Do you want to? Would it be interesting to you? And we don't have to do this, but would you want to sit in as a panelist on one more verse? Because we're just reading through. We got 2 done. We could do another. You interested?
You know what? I'd pull out my 1611 for that.
Oh, let's do it. Can you read us?
That one is so hard to read, though. There's no numbers. There's no.
Oh, right.
The book is the hardest.
And I might be able to find it though, because you can't see the screen, I don't think. But the King James.
No, I have a regular King James, right? And it's on top of the 1611.
Yeah.
And both of them are open to like some of my favorite verses, right?
All right.
I believe in warding off spirits and all that shit, like keep the demons out, like, and it's in the center of my living room. I promise you that.
Nice. Nova X says Lucifer is a phrase, not a name. That I can get with.
I think it's a title.
Right.
Just like Satan, right? I don't think that's his name. I think that's a title. But who am I, right?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of into that. Yeah.
Adam and Eve were titles too. I don't think they were names.
Well,
no, think about it. Adam and Eve had kids. No. What? See, I'm glad we brought this up because I was thinking about this the other day. Not only is Adam and Eve a title, specifically why they talk about that Adam and that Eve was because of their descendants. Enoch, Abraham,
right?
Jesus, right? They didn't talk about the other descendants of Adam and Eve as titles. They talked about that Adam and Eve. Now tell me that doesn't make more sense.
Yeah, so here's where I get stuck on that. Romans 5:12, Paul is writing, and he goes really big into a singular one-man Adam, and it's really hard to... You have to kind of think that Paul was confused if you read some of his letters.
No. At that time, he was being tortured.
Paul? Yeah. I'm going to hold on this one. I'm going to hold to singular Adam. But his name is very much, man as such. So I don't see why it can't both be true. That your concept of Adam represents, what it's like to be an early human, but also is a person.
I think Adam is man and Eve is like woman.
Sure.
But specifically to the two of them, the rest of the Bible is about their descendants.
Yeah.
I mean, because when Adam and Eve had kids and Cain killed Abel,
Right.
he still left and got married. Who the fuck did he marry? You feel me?
Yeah. I mean,
It's that simple. Who the fuck did he marry? Same thing with Noah. Once they found the fucking, tip of that mountain and started to settle because the dove came back with a branch or whatever the fuck.
right. I think you have to go with those, what was it, 3 sons, and each of them had their wives. I mean, there's a limited set of people there. Oh, no, I have the free Zoom. It's going to end in 10 minutes. I'm going to have to pay for a better Zoom. I'm going to send out a new link when this one dies.
So this Bible chat that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this.
We're on week 11. We've been meeting same slot that you and I talked a few months ago, but got done with the Facebook, went into this, and usually we hit about 5 verses a night. So we've gotten all the way up to Genesis 3, finished 16 a minute ago, and
wait, are you
17
guys
is next.
rolling Genesis right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with Genesis.
Cool.
Dude, you have no idea how many spoiler alerts and fucking head boggles I can do with just Genesis alone.
Good.
I was made for this kind of conversation. So let me ask you again. Are you sure that you want to make me a panelist? Because I will fuck this up.
Totally.
But in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
You know I'm all about God, right?
Yes, I'm into it. Okay. Nova X is out there saying King James does a mistranslation and Lightbringer Morningstar fall the king of Babylon, no one in the Bible called Satan by Lucifer, if I read that right.
Yeah. I was raised with the King James Version, so I respect it. It's part of the reason why I got the 1611.
Yeah.
To try to better oh my God, that is a hard book to read, Ross. That is such a hard dude.
I read the entire King James.
Order one off of Amazon for just a couple of bucks.
Yep.
It is the hardest. Oh my God.
I read the whole thing once, King James.
No, I'm talking about the 1611.
No, I didn't read the 1611.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I gave up. Me of all people, as smart as I am, I was just like, you know what? Nah. Fuck, it made me feel stupid trying to read that shit. Like,
yeah. So you want to read 3:17 for us real quick? Genesis 3:17. Don't have to. Someone should read it.
No, you want to read what? I didn't hear what you said.
Genesis 3:17.
Go ahead. I'm on my front patio.
Oh, and you know what? Judging from the chat, I'm going to do a slight earmuff alert and request no GD if we could. Is that cool?
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. No, Nova X. So, and this wasn't from Nova X. You keep going, Nova X. If Black Yoda and I are gonna debate a little bit, I want the chat to debate too. Don't worry about that.
I'm all for that. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I'm a different kind of Christian. And to be honest with you, the way I'm different, I'm Holy War different. There's people like me. We're waiting for Holy War.
Right. Well, he's going to fell them with a word.
So when I talk about soldiers of God, I'm talking about people like myself. I don't know if you know soldiers, but are they the most colorful speaking people?
They tend to get. Listen, Paul talked about filthy rags, but I saw one note in the chat that echoed something I was thinking that for this show, we should try to rein in the GD, if it's okay.
And you're right. This is my problem, people, and I don't know if y'all understand this. I know people see my name and think celebrity status or whatever. You and I had that conversation, right? But
Right.
I never saw myself like that. So like, even though I know I'm talking to Ross, in my head, I don't picture a crowd of people.
Well, it's pretty
I hear his
cozy
voice,
tonight.
and to me, I feel like I'm just talking to him. I completely forget that I'm talking to a lot of other people. And so the fact that I'm on my front patio in front of my little mini fridge and my fucking recliner and shit, I get lost. So, you know,
So
if
here,
you don't like it, don't like it. I didn't ask.
there's more people here now than when you first came in here. So, and I noticed that is almost always the case. Green Dragon 64 says 1611. Good deal. Hip to the Clip says, "Who is Black Yoda?"
Oh,
Let me quickly answer that.
Please do, sir. Please do, kind sir.
I think I would say
I wouldn't even know how to answer that, and I'm Black Yoda. Damn it.
driving in my car years ago, had to be at least 3, probably 4. I'm listening to Craig Mason. I don't know when you started showing up on Craig Mason, but long time ago.
I don't remember either.
And frequent caller, and eventually became pretty much the closer for Reasonable TV, especially for friggin' Friday Night Show.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'd mind me saying this. A mod on more channels than you know in Foxhole. Been here for just OG, basically Foxhole OG. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Somebody said earlier, spit some truth about what you're talking about. Hip to the Clip said, I think I'll remind everybody that Black Yoda and I agreed a minute ago with the following statement. The only way to the Father is through the Son.
Yeah.
So that's some truth that I think we can camp out on.
What that means is a lot of people mock God by saying, well, I could just live a life of evil and at the last minute repent and go to heaven. No, the fuck. That's not how to
Yeah,
work.
you can. That's where you and I have a slightly different...
I didn't mean to, but no, the fuck. That's not how that works. No. It has to do with your heart chakra and were you genuine? Were you pure? Like,
see, I'm not going to disagree with you, but so one of the things we're going to have to, well, sorry, I'm using language that's very confrontational. I preach and teach as an elder at a church every Sunday, and I want to be the same person there that I am here. I openly preach a very Calvinistic way of saying things. I don't think we disagree about very much at all. Romans 10:9, if you believe in your heart God raised Jesus from the dead and you confess him as Lord, you'll be saved. That's the gospel, right?
I don't think it's that. You know what?
Yep.
When people make those kind of comments, though,
yeah,
that's when I want to argue it to like
come at me.
But like, could somebody, genuinely do something like that? Possibly.
Right. No, you bring up a good point. You're not gonna.
When they bring up that as a fucking, a stab in the back to God, I want to fucking fight them, dude. Like that's and
look at Saul
that's where frustration
or Paul.
on our part comes from, right? Because it's not just me. I know other people that feel like this, right?
Okay, so if our instinct is we want righteousness to be served, I think that's a great instinct. But imagine being one of the Jews persecuted by Paul, and he turns. Even he talks about it in some of the books in the New Testament. It's like he has to kind of double, triple explain himself and say, "Look, I get it. Y'all think I might not be the real deal because I persecuted you guys for years."
Did I tell you I'm part Jewish? Did I ever tell you that?
I don't think I knew that.
My grandmother is Hungarian. That's where I get it from.
Right.
My mother's mother. Remember I told you I was half white. Her mother was Hungarian. Full-blooded.
I like
That's
the
where I get the
Hungarians.
Jewish
I'm
people
married
from.
to a 1/4 Hungarian.
Like 90% of Hungary is Jewish. That was back
Yeah.
during World War fucking 1 or 2, something, one of those. But that's where I get it from. So when the Bible talks about lost tribes and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you can't think that they're just Jewish white people.
Right. Thanks. Yeah. That's kind of one of the points I was on earlier when you started laughing a bunch, which was a better answer than anything.
Yeah. Nah, the
Oh. New meeting. Hold on a second. Getting a new meeting. Participants. Participants. If the... Here we go. Invite. Copy invite link. There we go. I think that's the same everything. All right, I'm going to squeeze in Genesis 3:17 while we're doing that. Admit. All right, I think we have you.
I can hear you, bro.
Yes, we got you.
Dude, my heart sank when that popped up. I was like,
It's gonna.
whoa, like what
I know.
happened? Dude,
I know.
literally, I felt it in the middle of my chest. And
No,
just
don't
like,
let the controllers program you like that. No, but I feel you. So let me read you King James. So King James, Genesis 3:17. Unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Now, let me try to read it in horribly pronounced Hebrew. Are you ready?
may I interject with a question of my own?
Please. Yes.
I was listening to, I can't for the life of me remember who this guy was. But he answered it in a smart ass, best biblical kind of way that I can even think of, right?
Right.
I was that impressed. Somebody asked him, what color was Adam and Eve? And he didn't skip a beat, bro.
Right.
This is what made it so fucking, and I know I'm not supposed to cuss, but this was epic, right? This was that epic. Didn't skip a beat. He asked them, what color was the dirt?
Right. That's awesome.
Because in Genesis, it tells you God made Adam from the dirt, right?
Correct.
And there's so many different colors of dirt, like you can't even
right. That's awesome.
That's what made that answer so beautiful. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to attempt. I like that. I'm going to attempt to read kind of some Hebrew of that. Uladom amarki shamata lekol ish tacha vatokal min hayetz asher tzivitika lemor lo tokal mimenu arura haadama ba avurecha baetz tzavon tochalena kol yime chayacha. I believe that probably was unintelligible, but that was my attempt. So now what we do is we break it down word by word. Are you ready?
Wait, so you guys are going through
grinding through it. Week 11. You're part of it now.
So you're going through the Torah and the Bible at the same time?
Yeah, just Genesis chapter 1, 2, and
No,
halfway through 3.
Dude, I've been wanting to do that forever.
You're here. We're doing
but I
it.
don't know how to read Hebrew and shit. Like,
We're learning it together.
oh, hell yeah, I want to participate with that.
Right?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I've been wanting to do that for so long.
Yeah.
But
well,
I don't know how to translate.
Nobody does. We're doing it together. We're learning it together.
Oh, hell yeah, I would love to participate with that.
So you may have...
You know,
I don't
it's
know how
gonna
to...
be like 10 years before we finish, right?
Oh, yeah. I know. But hey, time goes by quickly. We're already on chapter 3. So you can't see the screen, but what I'm looking at is BibleHub.com, and it's got the Hebrew right next to the English. And so it says, Ule Adam, and that's to Adam. Amar, he said. Now, the word said has been in this book dozens of times already. And it's got a very kind of utter feeling. Like it's not a loud shout. It's the way that God says all those things, like let there be light, we'll call the darkness day, and blah, blah, blah. So, Ule Adom Amar, so he says to Adam, it's very kind of conversational. Let's see, where was this?
You know what? This is kind of thing I will bring to the conversation, right?
Yep.
Do you know they proved that you can create light with sound? So when the Bible tells us in the beginning, God said, let there be light, right? In light, you have bandwidth, and we can only see certain spectrums of bandwidth.
Right.
But in bandwidth, you have energy, you got all kinds of stuff in a bandwidth, right? Science has already broken down the first couple of verses in Genesis, but they don't want to talk about it. Not even a little bit do they want to talk about it.
Right.
Now, I would love to be a panelist on this one because
you are you're right here. Hip to the Clip says way back, was the Statue of Liberty pregnant? I'm not sure I understand that question. The Statue of Liberty.
You know, the Statue of Liberty is a polygon. That's literally a devil deity.
Yep, for sure. It's Columbia. It's another iteration of what's her name? Aphrodite, right? One of those.
Kinda, but
yeah, I get a little mixed
polygon.
up. Yeah.
Apollio. Just Google it. Google it.
Apollio. I didn't hear you the first time. Right. It's Apollio. Yep.
No, Apollyon. Yeah.
Just Jim says, did Adam and Eve have belly buttons? Probably not.
I get the question, but that's that sarcasm that earlier when we were talking about Adam and Eve was a title and not a person. And back to what I was saying, like the reason why that Adam and Eve has significance is because of their lineage.
Gun to head, I'm going to say everyone's from Adam and Eve. That's just me.
That's where I'll agree to disagree.
Fair. So that first word, uledom, that means from Adam. It's a proper name. It also is a Jordan Valley. There's 10 Old Testament usages. So that whole phrase, all the way from Amar to Ha'adama, where it says, God said, because you attended to your wife's voice and you ate from the tree I commanded you not to eat.
Do you mind if I ask you a question, Ross?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What made you ask me to be a panelist?
Because you wanted to be on the show tonight. and I'm toying with sticking with the format. But
because I'm not a regular Christian. And I know you know this. I'm not a regular Christian. I know you know this.
The Bible's not what is the Bible? It's this thing. It changes your brain as you read it.
It can. It really can.
Yeah. I don't think there's such a thing as a regular Christian. Okay, let me throw this at everyone. In the book of Revelation, we see that we will eventually receive a white stone from our Savior with a name on it. And it's going to be a secret pet name that's uncrackable. And no one's going to know the name I have with him. And no one's going to know the name that you have with him, except for you'll know yours. I'll know mine. So inside of that secret password is who knowed what kind of treasures. So there's no such thing as a regular Christian. Everyone's unique. Does that make sense?
It does. At least to me, it does.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no way that I'm going to do a Bible reading. This isn't a Bible study. This is just a Foxhole family Bible reading. Happens to be on. Yep.
My old boss is a pastor.
Yeah.
Episcopalian, right?
Cool.
I've heard him talk down on so many things. And granted, I was raised Baptist, but I don't consider myself Baptist. I don't even go to church anymore. I just consider myself spiritual, you know?
Right.
But I've seen him do so many things that or comment on things in a way that I would just never do. But he thinks he's better than I am.
No.
Because of the way I believe, right? It blows my mind. He has the lady balls to think like that. Who in the, and let me choose my words because I almost said it. Who in the hell are you to think that you're better than me? There's been times where he's given me his scripts for Sunday.
Right.
Hey, do you mind if you take a look at this? Because I was thinking about talking about these topics on Sunday. Would you give me your opinion?
Right.
But at the same time, he thinks he's better than who? And it caused an argument a couple of times between the two of us. Because I was like, hold on, like, because we wouldn't even be talking about politics or anything, it would be random. But then he would let when I say the word prejudice, I don't mean that with black and white. I'm just saying it in general, right? But he thinks he's better than I am. No. Bias, like the way I believe, right? He will let his bias slide in. It blows my mind. Where the hell did that bicycle wheel come from? He has the lady balls to think like that.
Wait, why are we? There's a playback.
Let me choose my words because I almost said it. Who in the hell are you to think that you're better than me? Profound.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a playback. I don't know.
There's been times where he's given me his scripts. It can't be from my end. I haven't touched anything. Hey, do you mind if you take a look at this? Because I was thinking about talking about these topics on Sunday.
Hang on, I got to figure this out. Right, hang on.
But at the same time, he thinks he's better than who? And it caused an argument a couple of times between the two on my side. So the chat.
As long as you don't hear it, that's good.
Like, because we don't be talking about politics or we don't hear. So don't let the devil. It would be random.
I think it's probably broadcasting though.
When I say the word, one thing I have learned about, I would just never say.
Where's it coming from?
Right? But he thinks the one thing I have learned is bias. Like the way I believe, right? He will let his bias slide in. It blows my mind. Look at that bicycle wheel
playing 3 times. No,
he has the lady balls to think. Burn some sage, bro. Burn some sage if you got it.
Okay, I fixed it.
It's really that simple. It's dude, you got demons over there. Dude, now you done linked up with Black Yoda and you want to do something with me? Like, dude, they don't want that kind of connection. This is the whole for the nonsense, right? They don't want us building bridges like that.
Right. But I got it fixed.
Racist, Ross, with your racist ass. You're supposed to be fucking slave on over there and just no.
Right.
They don't want these connections,
Yep. No, they don't. They want us divided. All right. So let me get the chat back up because it's now not showing.
You know what, Ross? I never thought I'd be that guy. Like, I remember like 10 years ago, I'd be rabbit holing and somebody would post some stuff.
Right.
And it would be the juiciest of juicy, right? And I'd be like, oh, wait. And I would just chew on that for like an hour, you know?
Right.
I never thought that I would be that guy where somebody's chewing on my juicy. What, did I say that right?
I don't know. It's interpretable a couple different ways.
Well, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You know, I never thought I'd be that guy, but I have to be. I ran out of shit to juicy on, you know.
Right. I think I do. Here, I'm showing another picture from Just Jim. He made a good green Yoda painting. It's not black Yoda, but it's green Yoda.
Now I can use Photoshop to change it.
Awesome. All right, so there's some green Yoda. Whoop. Hang on. I lost green
Send it to
Yoda.
my DM. I'd like to see it.
Let me, Just Jim, can you or I send that same picture to, because he could take a screenshot of this now anyways, if his phone would work. But I like to get permission from the artist, so as soon as he says yes, I'll send it. All right, so it just so happens, the way I've been doing this is when I get to, here, I'll show the green Yoda picture, but let me go back to my notes. When I get to a word that we've already studied, I don't restudy it. So we actually have already done the words for this whole verse, all the way up to Hadama. The next word that we need to learn is Ba'avorecha, which comes from Abur, which is for the sake of, on account of. And there's 49 Old Testament usages, and they tend to usually mean either account or cause or order or reason or sake. So the translators are saying because of or for the sake of. So this is where he says, on account of you, the very ground is cursed. And let me see, make sure I have that right.
Wait, is your son part of this group? Where's Little Man, the smart guy?
Since it's summertime, he is still awake. But typically during the school year, which starts up in 3 weeks, he'll be asleep by now. So he typically doesn't come up on this show.
Oh, that's too bad, man. I really like him.
Well, here, you want to say hi real quick, Anderson? He's
Well, I thought you said he was gone.
Well, no. Typically he won't be on the show, but he's awake because it's summertime. I don't have two microphones set up, but he's going to say hi real quick.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, little guy, can you hear me?
Hello.
What's up, bro? With your 1942 having ass,
Wait, can you hear it? Say that again.
dude. You crushed it where you were trying to explain that whole, German thing a while back. I'm still that impressed, dude. You stay 100.
I will. Don't worry.
All right, he's going back to wherever he was.
No,
Hanging out with his friends.
Dude, he reminds me of when Julian was small.
Yep.
Enjoy it because it goes by fast, bro. It really does.
Oh, I know. Clip is mocking the part where you have the entire letting a murderer go free. Yes. And I had to say yes in the chat. Live TV is the best. Thank you, Sloan TV. That's a note of encouragement. I'm just reading the chat real quick. Side by Sins.
Sloan TV played a documentary just recently. And I had never seen it.
Right.
Vader 369 was in the chat. Val Hall was in the chat, and somebody else. And I was asking them, like, what is this? Like, I've never seen this, right? But because of the talking points on January 6th, and it was a documentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took me about 20 minutes, but I actually found it. Sloan TV, if you're out there.
I think he is.
In the future, if you don't mind, at least putting a headline on the video, that'd be helpful. But it was called Bloody Hill, the documentary. You can go on my Black Yoda page and find the link. or just type in Bloody Hill on Rumble. Eventually, you'll find it. Right.
Right.
Great expo on the nonsense behind January 6th. Great expo. Great. I recommend people. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because you mentioned Sloan TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sloan's in the chat talking. Yeah.
So Sloan, if you can hear me, brother, sister, whatever you are.
Brother. I think he identifies as Brother Commander.
Okay.
Well, his Sloan's Rangers have been calling him the Commander. I don't think he created that nickname. You know how you can't create your own nickname?
No, you can't. You really can't. Like, once you get dubbed something, that's your knighthood. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to just,
Yeah.
You know.
So we've been calling Sloan the Commander or Commander. We'll see if it sticks. It seems to be sticking.
That's funny. That's funny.
But
yeah, Bloody Hill. If you guys haven't seen it, watch Bloody Hill. It's well worth it. It's well. And a lot of us truthers, we already know most of this information,
right.
But it's really well put together. It really is. It's worth the hour and a half. You know.
Yep. So I wanted to, on the ground curse, because we're in the verse where it says the very ground is cursed because of you, right? So the way, let's read that King James again real quick. I'm going to pull that back up. Sorry. I'd lost it when I did the emergency window shut. Gen 3:17, King James. He says, because you've hearkened to the voice of and have eaten the tree, which I command you, saying, cursed is the ground for thy sake. So that's how they translate it. But when I'm looking at the individual Hebrew words, which let me pull those back up, I get a different feel.
No, because the earth has a negative charge, but just walking barefoot on the earth has a positive benefit to you.
Right.
It helps ground out all the fucking nonsense. I almost cussed.
Right. But he says, you're right. So Sloan TV says in the chat, it takes too much time to put intel in. Sorry, 24/7, 3 minutes between videos. So.
No, but Sloan TV, that was a great link. I had never seen it before. And I was so impressed that it made me look it up. And I shared the link with the other people that were in the chat.
We've just had join us in the chat, Lucifer Morningstar. Glad to see you. Always nice to see you.
Okay, I want to question. I want to question that name. Why that name of all names?
I think that's a reasonable question. I'll let Lucifer speak for Lucifer's self. We've had Lucifer hanging out in here a few times. Lucifer Morningstar. Now, you know, Jesus is called the Morning Star later.
Like that, right? Like,
right. But, you know, Jesus. Yeah. Sloan TV says, thanks for the kind words, Black Yoda. So,
you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, you know what? Thank you for actually putting it in your program. I hadn't seen it.
You know, it's been a while since I've done a house ad for Sloan TV, so let me just throw one in there real quick. If you're out, if you're in your yard doing chores, if you're, you know, driving to school, driving to work, whatever you're doing, find a way to get that gadget to play live on Sloan TV. You're going to get Dave from X22. You're going to get LT from Men We Know. You're going to get documentaries you've never seen, like Black Yoda just mentioned.
LT is one of my favorites, bro.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off. He's one
it's good.
Oh, I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
But no, he's one of my dude. What's his real name? Larry. Larry is his real name.
I actually don't know.
No, it's Larry. It's Larry.
I believe it.
No, that's my guy. Oh, and we know. Yeah, that's my guy. Oh my God, I love and we know.
Lucifer Morningstar says, words have meaning. Agreed. I want to point out, I don't have it off the top of my head, but Jesus is referred to as Morningstar in the Bible. I always hear that. Here, let's look it up. Is Jesus Morning Star also? Accurate. So let's see. Isaiah 14:12 has morning star, son of dawn, been cast to earth. So that would be probably Lucifer.
The one thing that bothered me is God made Lucifer God of this world, but not like his level of God. That really bothers me.
So wait, say that again?
There's a part in the Bible that talks about where God made Lucifer the God of this world.
Right. Well, just for this season, right? The earth's going to be remade in fire. And after that,
I still don't like the wordplay on that one.
No, of course not.
I know that
part of that's translation, though.
No, it literally tells you. I read the verse. I just don't remember the verse, right?
Right, but so we just went through chapter 1 a couple months ago, and
this is long after chapter 1.
No, I know, but I just want to point out something real quick. Elohim is the word for God for quite a while, and then when Adam shows up and they start to talk, and sometime right before that, he becomes Yahweh Elohim. So the writer is starting with Elohim, which is a plural word. It can mean the biggest, mostest God, but it could also mean the gods, or maybe it's a hint towards the Trinity. But then after a while, instead of saying Elohim did this, Elohim did that, it starts to say Yahweh Elohim did this, and Yahweh Elohim did that.
It does tell you in Genesis that let us make him in our image. Who is our?
Right. Well, and you can actually go down a really strange rabbit hole, but that, because he says, let us make them in our image, male and female. And how do you want to punctuate that? Like, where does the sentence end and start?
Oh, talk to one of these lefties. They will give you like 126 of them.
Right. So real quick before I forget, Revelation 22:16, Jesus says, I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you about these things for the churches. I am the root and the descendant of David, the bright morning star. So Jesus calls himself the morning star towards the end of the book, which is kind of weird.
I don't know how to answer that one.
I know, but I just wanted to point that out. Just to
I always tell people, have I not been fair? I'm not perfect, people.
No. The only reason I bring it up is Lucifer Morningstar in the chat. He's named after.
Now that I have seen people claim that Jesus and Lucifer are the same person. I do not agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with that either.
Right. But I don't know how to answer that question.
Also,
that comment, right?
Yeah. No, you're good. Lucifer Morningstar, we kind of went over that Lucifer is a title earlier in chat. So you don't have to save that conversation for another day, but we kind of hit it earlier. Let me just make this argument. Black Yoda, check me on this.
What's up?
So the King James says, let me read it again. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. But I'm seeing it saying, I feel like it's more saying, on account of you, or as you encounter the ground, it's going to be a cursed experience. Like, I'm not so sure that a whole bunch of curse went out. I think the relationship got cursed. Does that make sense? Between Adam and the ground.
I don't believe God would curse the thing that he gave us.
Well, he didn't say he's cursing it, although he does.
No, but
right.
no, I'm just talking about a general belief, right?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And he gave us dominion over the animals.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Within those animals, you have the sky.
Oh, we got a can.
He can't curse the sky. He would.
You're not going to hear this, but I got to play the can. It takes about 20 seconds. Hang on a second.
No, go give them props. If somebody gave you a can, let them.
Yeah, I got a long can animation.
That's cute.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Just the sentiment.
It's the French can dance with a little animation and everything. Thanks for that, Sloan TV. Let me jump to the next. We're almost done with this verse, and then that might be able to, we can segue out of the show, slowly after that, just because I got to get some sleep.
Well, when am I supposed to do the panelist thing?
This is it. I'm just squeezing this in.
I'm talking about like in the future.
Oh, every Wednesday we're doing this.
At what time?
I start at 11 Central.
I'm Arizona time. I don't have my, like right now, I don't know. Right now it's 10:55 my time. What time is it your time?
It's 12:55, so we'll start at 9 your time.
9 my time?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow then?
No, Wednesdays. Only Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Man, I hope not.
Now you got me.
I think it's Thursday morning, the wee hours. I think we're at Wednesday night right now.
Oh, actually, you know what? You might be right because I brought in my garbage cans earlier. All right.
So then he says, the next word is, we already know it's icky from the verse before. Or let's see, I think we're almost done here. In toil, in ickiness, you'll eat of it all the days of your life. Yeah, so we know the rest of those words. So let me sort of summarize it this way. I'm not saying, G. Ross's new translation is the best, but we just kind of walk through all these words. So God says, because you attended to your wife's voice and you ate from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from the ground, or eat, the ground is cursed for you. With ickiness, you'll eat from it all the days of your life. Fair?
Wait, say the first part of that again.
God said, because you attended to your wife's voice and you ate from the tree that I commanded you not to, the ground is cursed for you. With ickiness, you'll eat from it all the days of your life.
But he didn't say nothing about descendants. He was talking about him and Eve.
Yeah, not on this verse. Yeah, just doing one verse at a time.
The whole Eve story is really perplexing to me. I want to try to understand it. And as old as I am, I still don't.
Well, we went through it. Let me.
No. I know what we can talk about, but this is why I get why people find flaw with the Bible.
Ain't no flaw in here. Bring it.
Right.
Here's the thing. So, okay, people may know this story, and I know I've told. Actually, sometimes my memory gets a little faulty. This may be a little repetitive for you, Black Yoda, and certainly for some of the people in the chat. But let me just quickly point out. I walked through life as a seeking agnostic, somewhat atheistic until I was 36, and then one day in the middle of a fit of ennui, I just boom flash had the wake up experience. Not everybody gets it. I was blessed with it, but there's other ways to get to this.
I'm a believer, but yep. I myself, when I go over the Bible, I come across things that even myself, I'm like, I would have worded that different.
That's what we're here for, is to talk about that. Like literally, like we're grinding through word by word. Anything objectionable, let's talk. I mean, that's why I'm going to the Hebrew and I'm chewing it. Like we're eating it together. Does that make sense?
I'm down for that. I'm down. Yeah. I'm totally down for that, dude. I'm built for this kind of conversation.
So what we've been doing is every verse I've been carrying a new paragraph forward. So let me throw at you the paragraph that I wrote when I was doing my notes right at this point. You ready to hear it?
Yeah.
Ahia, I love pronouncing Yahweh that way. It's not a rule. It's just how I like to do it. Ahia made everything, including animals, all ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them, and said one of her progeny would stomp the serpent's head and get foot bitten. Childbirth is now rough. Eve will be subject to her husband's authority. And Adam, since you listened to your wife and ate from the tree that we said not to, you have a curse on your experience of nature, and getting food out of it will be rough. That's sort of my summary of our story so far. Comments?
Actually reminds me of something I came across a long time ago. And they were theorizing that Abe and Cable had two different fathers.
Maybe.
What? Hold on, just for the sake of conversation, right?
Sure.
I'm not saying I believe this.
Right.
Abel was Adam's son. Cain was a reptilian son. Right?
Right.
And you know where I'm going with the whole
I do.
reptilian thing, right? Like fucking. Now, because I was bored, I was just like, let's see where this is going. And some of the things kind of made sense, right?
Right.
And I know the fallen can shapeshift, and I know about the Nephilim and all that nonsense, right?
Right.
One of the things that sticks out of my mind the most is I don't care if you're talking about Roman, Greek, Egyptian, things that we consider mythology, right?
Yep.
And they have these half animal man hybrid things.
Right. The Nephilim.
I'll leave it to that. I don't even want to finish that thought because I don't want to give it creation.
Fair. I contemplate it all the time. I'm right there with you.
As smart as I am, I still think about stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So now let me take our story so far and crunch it a little more. I'd like to get it shorter, and then when I get it as short as I can, we go to the next verse. Are you ready? Ahia made everything, including animals, all ruled by humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God took its legs away and declared a blood feud between them. Let
me take you back.
Yep.
Who else ate the fruit that Eve ate? She tricked Adam, right?
Yeah. The humans who ate the illegal fruit, right?
But who else were those?
Just Adam and Eve.
No, but the illegal fruit is the same fruit, is it not?
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying Ahia made it. Yep.
Who else are those people? You just said it.
Humans who ate the illegal fruit. Yeah.
Who are those?
Well, I'm distilling Adam and Eve down to the humans.
No. That means there were other people.
Haven't seen them in the show. We've only seen 4 speaking entities so far. I just called them humans because it was Adam and Eve.
But do you understand my point, though?
I get your point. Well, and I'm also steering it that way too, because as you walk away from Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, I'm opening up.
Adam and Eve are titles, bro.
Right. I'm leaving room for that, but I've been walking it through ever so slowly. Like I crunch this down every time. And I open it up for multiple viewpoints. So yes, absolutely, that was intentional.
And I honestly believe that Adam and Eve, that Adam and that Eve, the reason why the Bible highlights them so much is because of their descendants.
So okay. If we're going to have humanoids running around and we don't know where they came from and we don't know their stock and we can't contain them all up to Noah and his 3 sons.
Dude, if we're having this conversation in Genesis, I can't wait until we get to the book of Enoch. Now, granted, that's not part of the Bible. We gotta like insert that into the story. But
we'll have to get all the way to the end of Revelation. That'll only take about 80 years, and then I'll go back to the Apocrypha. And actually, our rate is a lot different tonight than it's been, but that's okay.
No, I get it. You gave me the fast version. I know.
So here, I got a shorter version. You ready?
Yeah.
Ahia made everything, including animals, ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. Eve blamed the serpent, and God said one progeny would stomp his head and get foot bit. Husband will have authority. Childbirth, food gathering, and general experience of nature will be rough. Any comments on that? Shortening?
No, I mean, like, I know about that, so that's like normal to me.
It just distills everything we've read in Genesis 1:1 to 3:17. And I crunched it one more time, and this is the last time for the night. I would like to read that if...
Actually, you know what? The thought did cross my mind, and
Tell me.
I thought it was too smart-ass to say.
Let's say it.
I want to say it now.
Say it if you want. Yeah.
Dude, I can completely understand why the Middle East hates us so much. It's not that we're blasphemers or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But we have this much freedom.
I got it.
Understand where I'm going with this, right?
Yep.
We get to debate.
It's an interesting point.
Right?
That's an interesting point.
Can you imagine a conversation like this in the Middle East?
Side note, I've hung out in Syria for 2.5 weeks, Morocco for 2 weeks, Kuwait for like 5 or 6 in 2-3 different chunks. I've hung out in Palestine and Egypt.
So then you could answer this question best.
Yeah.
Would you be able to have a conversation like this there? Like wide open, public, fucking video streaming and shit?
I don't think so.
You think?
Let me tell you this. I would dare not have... Oh, hang on. I gotta invite the people again. It's the same link. All right, I'm going to read that last version while Yoda's getting on. Here's my shortest. Achaya made everything, including animals ruled by the humans who ate the illegal fruit. A progeny would stomp the serpent's head and get foot bit. Husband will have authority. Childbirth, food growing, and being in nature in general will be rough. We'll stop there for the night. Black Yoda, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Right on. So
I know you were close to hanging up, but
no, but you inspired me to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story.
Please.
I was going down to
hello.
Yeah. Hello. I wish I could show my video. I tried to, and it won't show it. So I can see you, and you can't see me, but no one can see you. It's just audio on the thing.
I don't care if they did or not.
I would try to show it if I could, but it's technology beyond me at this point. So I'm sitting there hanging out in Jordan. This is way back, going like 17, 18 years ago. And I pulled open a drawer, and I see this green kind of thin towel, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's a beach towel. I didn't know. And I thought about it for a second, and then I realized it was a prayer rug. But I just imagined in my mind, what if I had grabbed that thing and gone down to the lake or the beach or whatever? I think we were near the Dead Sea.
Oh,
what if I had taken a prayer rug? Just imagine like hanging over my shoulders, walking down the beach. I probably would have been killed.
Now, if other people don't find that hilarious, they don't know the significance of how important that is to the Middle East, right? Like, that's how different our cultures are, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Yep.
Oh shit.
But you made me think of that when you're like, can we have these conversations out in the open? You know, I got to bet that some guys sitting in, you know, the back of the deli sipping the tea, I've seen that. You'd see
Yeah,
those guys.
yeah. Our kind
They
of
can
guys.
probably-
Right? No, I know what you mean. I get it.
Yeah, they can probably debate a little bit, the meaning of life and all this, but yeah, I don't think you can just have public open debate channels like this. I didn't see anything.
No.
Yeah.
That's what really pisses me off about these snowflakes that take fuck capitalism, want to burn the flag and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? You kids are so fucking spoiled. You would have no idea how to fend for yourself in the wild, like in the woods,
Right.
by yourself, no tools, right? Like,
Right.
and I'm so glad that my son is not one of them. My son is so much like me, is fucking stupid. Like, I couldn't be more proud.
Right.
I'll leave that one at that. And people, I can only wish that y'all have the same experience with your kids, because it's going to be important in the future. And I'm talking about long after, like when my son is my age, right?
Yep.
That's when his real character is going to be tested. I might not be here to give him advice. He's just going to have to just go old school off of what I've already told him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And compared to a lot of other, dude, have you seen these videos where they ask people, hey, it's the 4th of July. Why do we celebrate 4th of July?
Right.
And it's crickets.
Right.
Fucking crickets, right?
I guess because we get donuts and it's hot dog day.
As funny as those videos are, it is sad as shit. They are, dude, they asked black kids about the Civil War, and they crickets. Fucking crickets, bro.
That's crazy. How can you even... You can't even keep the black youth in their false divided, mindset if you don't at least tell them how evil the Republicans are. So you got to have, you know what I mean? Like they're losing.
No, yeah. That's why I thought that was funny. I hadn't even thought of it like that, but you're right. You're right. You're oppressed, but we won't teach you about why. So then when we ask you about why, you don't know, but all you know is you're oppressed, right?
Right.
Like oh my God.
Yeah.
And I will say it again. I will never get tired of saying this. I am so glad my son is not one of them.
Nice.
Dude, do you know he will call me out of the blue and ask me a rabbit hole question?
Love it. That is so
you can't
cool.
Make this, you can't make this kind of shit up, people. Like, only because it's the truth.
Right.
The last one he called me about, I swear to God, he calls, I answer. I was out here smoking a cigarette, and I see it's him. And I was like, oh, I got to answer that. That's my son, right?
Right.
I was like, hey, man, what's up? And he was like, hey, I need to ask you a question. And I was like, what? I bullshit you not. Is the earth flat?
Nice. We know it is.
And
Just
I was
side note.
like, dude, I thought it would be like 30 years before we had this conversation. Are you really ready to have this conversation? And he was like, well, I've just been asking myself, I've been questioning a lot of things that just don't make sense. And when I say my son is a lot like me, he's actually at his age, he's smarter than I ever was. I haven't told him that, but he is killing it in spades, bro.
Nice.
Killing it.
I'm thinking mine might be smarter than me.
Dude, in the inside of my heart, on a God level, I was so proud that that's my little dude. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. And I just hit him with the truth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And a lot of people that think, flat earthers are stupid don't appreciate the fact that we were taught heliocentric just like y'all were. We had to unfuck the lie to learn this shit, and it didn't digest well. We were
Right.
fucked off for like a week or two, just trying to fucking like, oh my God. Oh my God. The fuck did I just learn? Like, oh my,
Right.
like literally physically sick.
No, yeah. Cognitive dissonance is no fun.
And then
So
they want to mock us after going through all of that shit.
Yeah.
They want to mock us. Like, fuck. No,
I
the
will say
firmament
this.
is real, people. It's fucking real. Get used to it.
Well, ain't nobody wants to walk around saying the earth is flat. Like, that's not a fun position to be in.
It's not
Nobody
that it's
asked for
flat.
that.
It's not that it's flat.
It's a
There's
realm.
an ice wall, and there's other shit on the outside
Right.
of the ice wall. It's
Right.
it's a plane of existence. God knows how far it stretches, but it tells you in the Bible.
Well,
No, the Earth is stationary.
Right. It
tells
is
you it's
stationary.
stationary.
Here's the thing. As soon as somebody punches through the Antarctic ice wall, then we'll know. And that hasn't happened to my knowledge.
Oh, you don't know about blue ice?
A little bit.
Oh yeah. Go on YouTube. No.
Yeah. No, I've seen it.
I
I know what you're talking about.
But it grows
okay, let me
back.
put it this way.
It grows back.
They can go past Antarctica as soon as I can book a ticket to go past the Antarctic ice wall.
Right?
See what I'm saying? That's what I really should have said. As soon as I don't get stopped by, a 21 nation treaty, then it's opened.
You
So-
have a son that's like mine.
Mm-hmm.
And even at his early age, I dare to say your son is actually smarter than mine. Your son is clever, dude. Like, mad
He's
props to him. I don't know what the fuck kind of Wheaties you were giving him, but
Just the regular kinds out of the box.
as smart as my son is, dude, I love him to death.
Yep.
And that's going to be crucial for these next generations.
For sure.
And I hope to be here long enough to participate with his kids as a grandfather, so I can, download my bullshit, right?
Yep.
But
Grandpa, tell us about the time when they thought the Earth was a spinning ball hurtling
wait,
through
no.
space.
This is the best. This is the best. Tell us about the beam wars in the 2020s. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking the
Right.
meme wars, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Dude, I'll pull up my old ass fucking Samsung 8. You know what I mean? And fucking be like, let me show you some shit. This is what I fucking blah, 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 right?
Right.
The fucking meme wars.
Yep.
G. Ross is getting late. I will let you go, sir.
Right
Thank
on,
you
brother.
kindly for letting me participate.
Cool. We'll wind it down
So
after. Yep.
Wednesday at 9:30.
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. Having done this and watching the chat, what I might want to do is I'll grind through like 4 or 5 verses. Takes not too long, and then we can maybe have you come in and comment on them. What would you think about that?
No, I'm fine with it. I'm fine
Yeah.
with it. Actually,
Do
Like,
calls
we-
like 45 minutes in.
lately I've been having a calling to like participate more with the Bible.
Yeah. This
This totally fits right in with
good.
it so does. It really
So
that
I don't want to
makes
give
that
you
other
homework.
feeling- I told you I'm partly empath. It makes that other feeling
Yeah.
make sense on why I felt that shit, right?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
So-
cuss, but like, no, I'm totally down with it.
So I don't want to give you homework, but if you felt like it, you can take a peek at some of the other. But we got a rolling. So yeah, I almost feel bad. Don't even do the homework.
You know what?
Never mind. Forget I said it.
No. You want me to be at my peak.
Yeah. So you just no
So
homework.
like if I'm honest with myself, I'm dusty. Do I know the
Right.
Bible? Yeah, I know it like a motherfucker.
No, we're gonna learn it together.
But am I dusty? Yeah,
We
yeah, I
all
could
are.
dust. So I don't mind. I don't mind that request, right? But and it's the reason why I bought the 1611. I just didn't
Yeah.
know it was going to be that hard to read.
No,
Like-
we're gonna Yeah,
But
we'll
I have
figure
my
it out
other Bible,
together.
dude, and I got my phone. I got Bible Hub and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So no, dude, I'm actually looking forward to this.
That's
That
awesome.
will be a lot of fun.
So I'll do we come on at 9 your time. I'll go about 45 minutes, and then we'll take the calls, which will pretty much probably just be you.
The funnier part about this conversation, though,
Mm-hmm.
when you interviewed me that first time,
Yep.
I literally was telling people on Craig and Brad's show,
Right.
I try not to Bible thump, and you brought that up.
Yep.
Well, you say all the time on Craig and Brad's show, you don't try to Bible thump and blah blah, and now you want me to Bible thump.
That's right. Well, because I like thumping the Bible,
No,
so we should
no, I
thump
get
it together.
But do you see the funny part? Like,
I do.
oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, we were, that was a slightly different show. We were moving a little bit towards this, and yeah,
Hey,
it is what it is.
for those that are in the chat that don't know, the reason why I remember this date is because of the number. If you look up G. Ross's videos or podcasting, look up 420.
Right. Perfect day.
When he broadcasted on 420, and the reason I remember that is 420 is the weed number, right?
Right.
That was when he interviewed me, somewhere about halfway in, and I wrote it for the rest of the show. So 420 people, if you want to know who Black Yoda is, go to 420 on his video stream. With that said, Mr. Ross, I will talk to you when I talk to you, if it's not before Wednesday.
Right on.
I'm flattered, bro. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks for lighting up the show, and I can't wait till the next time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Right on.
Later.
All right. Bye. Okay, let's start the outro music. Oh, here, let me make it so you can see the Red Pill Rooster in Antarctica from Just Jim. Beautiful art. Beautiful work. Let's see. Let's get the outro. So I think what we're going to do, I'll try to remember this next week. We'll get through 4 or 5 verses, and then we'll commentary. We'll begin the panel after that. Because I only got through 3 verses tonight, and I think that'll be a bit of a better pace if we can get 4 or 5 verses in, and then we can just sort of see where the conversation takes us. Just Jim, I hope we can get Zoom working for you later too. I don't know how to fix that. Thanks again to Black Yoda for coming in. And let's see, let me drag this off. Sloan TV. Let's see, who all? Lucifer Morningstar. Lucifer Morningstar, if you're hearing this, I took your point. We may want to stick with the old format for the first 45 minutes. I kind of tend to agree, just because of how I've kind of built the show, just grind through the word tokens, but then I really want to get that commentary. So thanks again to Black Yoda for bringing that just that lively, awesome Black Yoda-ness. Friday, we will have co-host Angular, 90% chance. Sunday will be Funklosophy. That can be infinite call-ins, right? Infinite Zoom call-ins. All right, I'm going to push the outro button. We're going to get out of here. Oh, I forgot. Where are we going? I will see you in the Sloan TV chat. I'll go over there in 5 minutes. Thank you for the... Oh, let me release the pill. God, what a noob releasing. They have been released. I'm going to stick around for a second, so there's time to scratch. The scratchin'-ins. Is that music just getting louder and louder, or is it just me? It's supposed to. It's supposed to get so loud that I can't stand it anymore. Don't forget, scratch. Did you scratch your scratchins? There we go. Bell 101 in the chat. Thanks, Just Jim. You guys are awesome. So we're going to hang out in the Sloan TV chat in about 5 minutes. Just so y'all know. That's the hangout. That's the place to be. That's what I'm saying. You are the underscore. All right, I'm going to trigger the outro video. It'll go for about 2.5 minutes. Good night. Thank you for spending time with us. We're joined on Fridays by co-host Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore. Be sure to catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, or Facebook. Current shows include The Bread Pill Weekly. You've been red pilled, now be the red pill. You're out of the oven and ready for delivery on our weekly alternative news roundup and call-in show on Foxhole, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Central, co-hosted by G. Ross and Angular. Current shows include Epistemology for Fun and Profit, where woo meets goo. You're in the woo, and the woo is in you. A philosophical call-in show with occasional guest interviews, diving into the oldest questions. Most episodes are exclusively on the foxhole.app, Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Central. Current shows include 9dNation, the nation with no denomination. Declare to the custom agents any edible plants or miscellaneous worldviews. We take a look back at how we got here, eventually leading into a regular Wednesday night Bible study at 11 p.m. Central. Catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook. Our Friday co-host is Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore.
on committees next year because if the Republicans have the majority